Hello, beautiful people. How's it going? I was originally going to do something with Rabbi Toby Singer's book, but realized I didn't have a thumbnail, and I'm just not going to make one right now. So, anyway, um, Christians always make up something to panic over. Ain't that the truth? Okay, so um, a lot of you have lived through the satanic panic. It wasn't exclusively an American thing, but a lot of it did take place on American soil. So let's see, there was a satanic panic in Australia, I believe, Great Britain, um, Canada, even. So yeah. Um, hey, Wist. So anyway, I do have a series on the satanic panic. So go watch that if you want more info. Now, the satanic panic never really went away. It just kind of went underground. Um, because public officials just weren't taking it seriously anymore. Um, I mean, you had all this waste of money and resources going into investigating this nonsense, and there was nothing to investigate. So, anyway, so it finally died down, but like I said, it never really went away. And you can tell this with where we're at today. Uh, this is in 2023. I'm recording this in 2023. Um, so anyway, and you've got a lot of people in Congress that are um, buying into all these conspiracy theories, which makes them incredibly inept to make any smart decisions. And how the fuck they got into Congress, I have no clue. But we'll leave that alone. All right. So this is kind of like the Satanic Panic version 2.0. But like I said, it never really went away. It just went underground. So, um, this is titled Christians Always Find Something to Panic Over. All right, well, in the 13th century, I believe, um, you had the Crusades because they were so panicked that um, Islam was going to take over Europe. Um, so we had the witch trials. Um, Now, I should say um, the what professional sources give as the range for um, the witch trials. Uh, the okay, so witch hunts and witch trials did not happen during that entire period. Okay, it it was a fire here, a fire there, blah blah blah. Okay, it did not take place over that whole period. What historians are getting at when they give this long period for the witch panic in Europe, they're getting at this is, how long the individual fires lasted. It wasn't, it was um, this entire period of time. So, with that out of the way, um, okay, so the satanic panic of the 80s and 90s, um, it was just a bunch of bullshit. And what we're going through right now, which I call Satanic Panic 2.0, even though, like I said, the Satanic Panic never really went away. Um, it's just a bunch of bullshit. So, you know, um, we do have history to look back on. And I can say with 99% certainty that this craziness is going to end. Okay. Um, all right. So the satanic panic of the 80s and 90s, we've got um, Dungeons and Dragons. They were fuming about the RPG known as role playing game Dungeons and Dragons. Um, so much so that I'm 90% sure that they made a Christian version of Dungeons and Dragons, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Okay? Just like today doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Making a Christian version of Dungeons and Dragons doesn't really make a whole lot of sense now, does it? So, you're saying Dungeons and Dragons is satanic, which it's not, by the way. I've never played, but the ones who invented Dungeons and Dragons, they were Christians, okay? Um, and that's in one of my videos on the Satanic Panic. Um, so anyway, it's called AIDS Rebuke and Reprove, and no, it wasn't. Just like a virus I am not going to name because it will get me demonetized. Now, I mean, when it was at its peak, there was room to panic, but now it's not. And no, I'm not going to put it on the screen, but it is AIDS. Get your fucking acronyms right, Jill. And it's GRID, not grids. So you can't even get that acronym right. Anyway, moving on. Um, so you've got Dungeons and Dragons. You've got um music. Music was a target. Um, Tipper Gore, I think. If you don't know who Tipper is or was, I'm not sure if she's still alive. Tipper was or is Al Gore's wife. And if you don't know who Al Gore is, Al Gore was the American vice president. So anyway, Tipper Gore um, started the panic about music. Okay. And then we've got panic about um, just everything. Um, witches. Witches was a thing in the fucking 1980s and 90s. Then we have the satanic panic of um, SA, satanic, or the acronym for that is SRA, um, which was not a thing. Michelle remembers is a fucking lie. Okay. So, anyway, I mean, there was like a panic about like everything. Okay. And now we see it again rearing its ugly head in 2023, even a little bit before this. And if you live in America in 2023, you know what I'm talking about. Well, if you're old enough, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so um, they're taking away our rights, people. They are taking away our rights. And that's the way they want it. The GOP, sorry to get political for a moment, but the GOP wants to stay in power. They want fascism. That's the long and short of it. They want to tell you to jump and how high to jump. Okay? They want total control over every aspect of your life. That's why we must vote these idiots out of office. Okay, getting back to the subject at hand. Um, we've had the equivalent of a satanic panic over, I don't know how far this goes. Greg, I'm not going to say his last name because he's a bigot, but along with other things, you know, um, he's cuckoo. But anyway, he thinks there are witches in his church. I'm not kidding you. Hey, little potato. He thinks there are witches in his church. By the way, this is the same Greg who holds church services in a tent, and he has been told numerous times that where he built, or I'm sorry, where he set up the tent is not zoned for commercial use. Now you may know who I'm talking about. But yeah, he thinks there are witches in his church. Mm, mm, don't, mm. All right, don't get me started on that. I could go for hours on this. Um, I do have a series, not finished, but I do have a series on um, the witch trials. Right now, we're doing the ones in Connecticut, which, by the way, a lot of people don't realize that Salem was not the first witch trial in America. That distinction goes to Connecticut. Um, Salem is just the most famous, and then it petered off. Not because these people had an awakening that witches aren't real, okay? But because the wife of a prominent citizen was accused. That's it. That's why the witch trial stopped after Salem. Anyway, moving on. Um, all right. So, and they think that we just need more Jesus. I am not kidding you. I am not kidding you. In America right now, they are banning books. And the aforementioned Greg is burning books. And you know what they say about burning books. When you get to the point where people are burning books, people are next. Um, so these quote unquote culture wars, they're all about Satanic Panic 2.0. Barbie's too woke for them, apparently. Never have understood that one. When I say Barbie, I mean the Barbie movie. But anyway, I haven't seen it, mainly because I'm too poor to go to a theater. But anyway, Barbie's too woke, apparently. By the way, if you ask these people to define woke, they can't. They can't. So you're throwing this word around, woke, right? And you can't even define it. Like, whatever. Um, so anyway, if I could ban one book, it wouldn't be Catcher in the Rye, that's for damn sure. If I could ban one book, it would be the Bible. Because there is so much bullshit in that book. And I'm going through the Bible now on Saturday. So, yeah, if I could ban one book, it would be the Bible. But I am not into book banning. Okay? Let's get that clear. I am not into book banning. Then, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. You're not even going to believe this unless you're in America 2023. They are freaking out over litter boxes at airports. Not schools, okay? That was a damnable lie. But at airports, because, you know, some people transport their cats and the cats need to go, right? So it was at an airport, not a school, but they want you to think it was at a school and that principals and teachers want kids to go in a cat box. And I'm like, what? And people buy this stuff. Whatever. You know, and then they're panicking over LGBTQ plus. Yeah, that's another thing. So anyway, they're just freaking out over like everything. And I'm like, what the fuck, people? What the goddamn fuck? You know, we've got real problems in America. And instead of addressing real problems in America, you want this culture war bullshit. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the majority of Americans aren't buying it, people. The majority of Americans are not buying it. You know, um, there was Pizzagate, and I'm not going to get into Pizzagate, but if you want to know what Pizzagate was, look it up. You're more than welcome. You know, I mean, so much stuff. And again, they are not addressing real issues that real Americans face. Anyway, moving on. Um, and this is in Congress. I mean, forget your everyday evangelical Christian. This shit is in Congress. So, you know, you've got states that are issuing private school vouchers. Yes, that's right, people. Christian schools are now being supported by the state. Not that they weren't supported by the state already with, you know, their tax free shit. But yeah, now they're being unapologetically subsidized by the state. And, you know, where does this end? I don't know. Just, you know, throwing it out there. I don't know when this ends. However, looking at history, it will end. Now, my message to you is if you don't like bullshit and you don't like bullshitters, it is up to us, me included, to make that known. And, you know, with a lot of public pressure and voting, we can make this shorter. We can make this shit show end. But it's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing. These evangelicals are shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, they really, really are. Because the children of today, they're going to fight back. They are going to fight back. We already see it happening. The amount of self proclaimed Christians according to a Pew Research Center poll, is down. It's not where I want it to be, but it is certainly down. And it is because the evangelicals are shooting themselves in the foot. And, you know, the Johnson Amendment, oh, yeah, that went out the window. The Johnson Amendment went right out the window, folks. In case you don't know what the Johnson Amendment is, it says that a 401c3, or um, for those of you who don't know what a 401c3 is, um, a charitable organization. The Johnson Amendment says charitable organizations that are tax free cannot endorse a political candidate. And that went right out the window. I don't know, Wist. I have no idea. But I will tell you one thing. If you disagree with these people, even if you're one of them, if you disagree with these people, you will be enemy number one in their eyes. And they will kick your ass out. I'm serious. I'm serious. If they've got 100 points and you agree with 99 of them, but you disagree on one point, they will kick your ass out of their club. Pretty sad. Because winning an argument, and I'm talking about a logical argument, not this whatever shit show's going on in DC right now, but to win an argument, how about evidence? How about proof? Not what ifs. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it today. Please hit the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube loves unsubscribing people for some reason. You can become a member for as low as 99 cents a month. And with that, I will bid you adieu. All right. Bye, people. Have a great rest of your day.